JB Pritzker should be pretty easy to troll.
Talking a lot more now.
But all right, now let's get into it.
All week we've been talking about this kind of federal takeover, so to speak, supporting the DC police force. The Trump administration, of course, has been talking a lot more now about Chicago. So I want to show you something. The U.S. Navy base near Chicago, where federal forces could launch this new immigration operation in the city. CNN has learned it could happen by the end of next week. Wow. The city has long been a target for top Trump administration officials.
Chicago still has a crime problem. So President Trump, again, made a promise to American people, we'll make this country safe again. So Chicago has a crime problem. That's why President Trump's thinking about it.
All right. So if the president is looking for another state to send National Guard, California Governor Gavin Newsom has some ideas.
Okay.
Just look at the murder rate. That's nearly 4 times higher than California's in Louisiana. This Speaker Johnson, perhaps the president could deploy the National Guard.
You know, and somebody tried to say, what was it, Chevron, or was it Chevron, Louisiana? And it was actually hilarious. I had to look that up, but I was like, you know, that's pretty interesting. If you're telling me that Republicans ran that the entire time and it's had that high of a murder rate, and I had to look it up. And I said, no, but who's the current mayor? And they had a current mayor who was sworn in 2022, and he's a Republican, but they've had a long history of Black Democratic mayors. Yes, this city that has a murder rate of like 73 to every 100,000, yes, had Black Democratic mayors for most of its history. And then as soon as they get a Republican, now the disingenuous left want to be like, oh, look, but that's a high crime city. They got a Republican mayor who's only been in there for 3 years when y'all been running it for how long? Like, excuse me, let my man cook. Let him do some cleanup.
In every corner of Mississippi. It's the murder rate's out of control there. Carnage.
Chevroport.
We can talk about the carnage in Arkansas, again, one of the top 10 murder states in America. 2.6 times greater than San Francisco. Again, these are just not just observations. They're
most likely also in liberal cities ran by Democrats. That's the problem. If you do it, look, y'all want to call out these red states. All right, let's microscope it. What are the highest crime cities in these red states? And they're ran by Democrats. Y'all low-key cook yourselves when y'all say stuff like this.
Stone cold facts.
They're not.
Yeah, the stone cold facts is that when you look into it and you see the cities, that's why I'm gonna be real with you, these trolls want to talk about red states. Well, I mean, okay, cool. Let's look at who run these high crime cities in these red states, and you will see the obvious pattern of it always being Democrats.
Just observations, they're printouts. So obviously this is something that they're going to be leaning into. And just for a few facts, we have got the violent crime stats for 2024. You can see for yourself some of the cities on that list: Memphis, Detroit, Baltimore, which people have talked about, but also Cleveland and Kansas City. What's interesting to me is there are places that are sending their National Guard to DC. Couldn't they just keep their National Guard where it is and do this whole exercise themselves?
Well, I think the American people understand that crime, and Donald Trump has tapped into this in recent weeks, is a life and death issue.
But the dynamic of being like red state, sure, National Guard here, blue state, like civilian population, like there's something about it that feels like it's creating unnecessarily a divisive feeling.
Well, Gavin Newsom, good example of this. You didn't play the clip, buddy, but he also announced yesterday that he's surging in areas of California where he needs to address a crime problem. So as we've seen Gavin Newsom copy President Trump in terms of his messaging and style on Truth Social, he's also mimicking some of the policies, because I think if you're a political leader right now and crime is perceived as a problem in big cities, yes, you need to respond to those challenges.
The difference is, Rob, I don't think anyone is anti-fighting or dealing with crime.
No. The problem is you guys don't want to admit that you guys run these cities terribly. Like I said, somebody tried to use that Chevroport, Louisiana, as an example of a Republican-ran city that has a high crime rate. But here's the thing: if you look back at the history of mayors, this is like their first Republican mayor in a long time. Actually, the last mayor was a Black Democrat. The mayor before that, Black Democrat. Mayor before that, Black Democrat. Mayor before that, Black Democrat. But then all of a sudden, a Republican comes in, and now y'all want to highlight this. That's what I'm saying. Y'all are completely disingenuous.
Why haven't they done
But
it?
I think the difference is this president wants to put color on crime. He wants to politicize crime, i.e., picking at or nagging at cities that have high African American population.
Bro, because they have high crime. It is what it is, dog. Get over it. Because they have high population African American cities, that because these African Americans children are going out and committing crime. And there's a lot of reasons for it. And if you want to tackle the poverty, if you want to tackle the fact that there's not enough jobs, there's not enough opportunities to these kids to go into outside of the streets, sure, we could talk about that. But let's admit it, though. Let's admit it that, yes, these high crime places are mostly black areas, highly populated black areas. So I'm trying to understand why y'all trying to cover that up. Like, why is everybody trying to run away from that argument? It's like, it's okay. Yes, it's the black people out there in those those highly populated cities that are committing most of the crime. We understand that. Fix it. Fix it. And stop trying to call it racist. Stop trying to beat around the bush about it. Because then you really y'all pussyfooting. Y'all pussyfooting just because y'all want to say it's black people? Like, come on. Do y'all not want to fix y'all cities or not? Or y'all want to be politically what? What's the word again? Politically safe? Like what? So you ought to be politically safe over the safety of your people. Like, okay.
Or with African
Well, my bad. Politically correct.
mayors, because when in times of crisis, as Donald Trump is with his poll numbers and his base, he tends to lean on certain things: race, crime, public safety, immigration, and patriotism. That's been his pattern.
Yeah, because not only did y'all flood the U.S. with a whole bunch of immigrants, but a lot of these immigrants went into high crime black areas and made it even worse. Made the property value go up. I mean, well, must have made rent go up, made the houses go up, and it also made the crime worse. Because not only now we got the black crime, but now we got immigrant crime. So appreciate that.
Practice in history as an elected official, i.e. president of the United States. So here he is going back to his comfort zone. If Trump cared really about crime in DC, why not meet with the mayor or other mayors around the country, come up with the solution like President Biden did with the Safer in Communities Act, which is why violent crimes are coming down in cities. But he did not do that. He did not even consult the mayor about his plan.
Let me jump in here, Antoine.
Because here's the problem. When the people of DC are complaining and you politicians are covering up, remember, we're for the people, not for you politicians. We understand you want to put a blanket over bad situations to make yourself look good and keep your political stock, but we rather listen to the people. The people of Chicago are saying, yo, Trump, come over here. People of Cleveland are saying, Trump, come over here. People of DC are saying, Trump, we appreciate it. So you politicians can talk all y'all want, but y'all are just ignoring the problems of y'all people, like y'all been doing for a while now.
Have heard Mayor Bowser say, look, this is working. I've talked to Trump in recent days. She has spoken differently and made it sound sort of more collaborative. I'm also interested in, Francisca, bringing you in because you actually got to ask Vance a question I've wanted to know. When does this end? What's the benchmark for when it ends?
And he said that they wouldn't be there indefinitely, not just in Washington, D.C., because I started by asking about Chicago and Baltimore and other cities, that their plan to fight crime isn't necessarily to send in the National Guard indefinitely. But he said that part of this is political, because they're being accused of fascism and other things, that it works better if the cities want them to come in. But as you're pointing out, we've heard these cities and states say they don't want the administration to send in the National Guard. So
No. You heard the politicians say that they don't want the National Guard coming in. The people who actually live in the danger, actually live in the hood, yeah, ask them what they want. Because y'all, you know what? Because y'all be going out and asking the rich people, well, do you want the National Guard in these high income, in these high crime areas that you don't live in? You hear what I'm saying? They'll literally go out there and ask people who don't even live in the goddamn area, who don't experience the crime in the goddamn area, and ask them, do you want the National Guard there? Of course they're going to say no, because they don't even know the effects of it. But go ahead and ask the people in the hoods of Chicago what they want. I guarantee you, they're going to say, yes, we need the feds here. We need the National Guard here. We need them. You go ask the people of Cleveland. They'll tell you, yeah, we do need them here. And anybody who tells you different, they lying to you. It's like, y'all don't really ask the people who this is really affecting, and it's irritating.
was an interesting
So
answer.
they were hearing the criticism, is what I hear in general, that concern about being seen as fascist.
Yes, but I also want to point out that of the list that you put up there, I actually spoke to several of those mayors too recently. And I think that they welcome federal help if it's the kind of federal help in areas that they feel that they need help with.
There's always a
Yeah, and they're not even conceding that though. I mean, here's the thing: like, if Pritchard came out and says, "Well, no, all of Chicago, you know, just this one area from here to here that has very high area, so if you could just concentrate it here and we could work something out," you know, that's cool. But it's like y'all say, "No, don't come. You're unconstitutional. You're not helping." I mean, bro, you're not even. Your people are telling you that you're not helping. Like, what's going on here? I thought we listened to our people, not the pride of these politicians. But all right, now let's get over to the right side of media. On Fox.
But first, Gavin's not having the truth. That's the focus of tonight's angle. As we head toward the unofficial end of summer, Democrats are scrambling because Trump's scoring big wins. The Dow hit an all-time high today. It turns out tariffs did not tank the economy. In fact, things are soaring. The experts, they're wrong again. And as far as Trump's move in D.C. to federalize law enforcement,
they said we're going towards a recession, but GDP went up 3%. I was like, y'all just gonna keep being wrong, huh? And loving it.
Resounding success. Crime has plummeted. And D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser noted that business owners are happy to feel safe again.
We greatly appreciate the surge of officers that enhance what MPD has been able to do in this city. For carjackings, the difference between this period, this 20-day period of this federal surge and last year represents a 87% reduction in carjackings in Washington, D.C.
And out on the left coast, the savviest liberal activists, they're flummoxed.
Ooh, she just hates to admit it. She's like, I ain't even gonna lie. The feds came through this federal insurgent and crime got cleaned up by like almost over 80%. I mean, shit. It is what it is, guys. I don't know how y'all going to sit there and say that, oh, Trump's not doing the right thing, but Trump done brought down crime by over 80%. Dems, like, when would the TDS stop? Like, come on now. We should all be for stopping crime.
Too. The speed with which the Trump 2.0 game plan is being implemented caught even Gavin Newsom's top climate advisor by surprise.
We thought it would look more like Trump 1.0, and they have a completely different playbook. They had 4 years to study what they did wrong in the first administration and employ new tactics.
Well, so what's next for the Democrats? Meaningful self-reflection? How about new policies that appeal to the middle class? No and no. Insanely enough, they're recycling the same talking points that flopped last year. So democracy, it's under assault. Trump's never going to leave office again. But their own loyalists aren't even buying that line. So listen closely to the audience reaction to Gavin Newsom yesterday.
I don't think Donald Trump wants another election. I have 24 Trump 2028 hats. His folks keep.
I mean, honestly, y'all Dems need to find a new enemy because the problem is Trump's out in 2028. I know we troll with you guys and say Trump's going to get a third term and all this. We trolling you because we like to see y'all get mad sometimes. I'm sorry. We apologize. But let's be honest. You guys got to find something else besides the TDS, Trump's evil, Trump this and that, because Trump ain't going to be running 2028. And if that's all you guys got is what you're going to be saying, well, he was aligned with Trump, that's why he's bad, then you're going to look stupid again. And you guys are going to lose again. Just like you guys possibly lose the midterms because you still haven't came up with any good policies. Just go against Trump.
Sending me. Who spends $200 million on a ballroom at their home and then leaves the house? This is serious, guys. This is serious.
I mean, there has to be serious here. No laughing. Of course, Gavin is lying. He's not that dumb. He obviously knows that Trump is trolling him with the 2020 hats. Get a sense of humor.
I know.
And he knows that Trump wants the ballroom to be part of his legacy and a gift to America when he departs on January 20th, 2029. Listen closely, Gav.
I always said I was going to do something about the ballroom because they should have one. So we'll be leaving it. It'll be a great legacy project, and I think it'll be special. You saw some renderings of the initial. I think it'll be really beautiful. No government dollars at all. No government.
Did you hear what he said? Did you hear what he said? We'll be leaving it. The president was clear, and any claim.
1 week, like he's just gonna take out that whole section of the White House and put it in Mar-a-Lago. It's like, y'all are hilarious.
To the contrary, it's just ludicrous, laughable. Now, given the mess that California is in under Democrat leadership, with majorities in both houses, Newsom has a rotten resume to run for the presidency on. Therefore, he resorts to the same desperate scare tactics with the whole democracy will die if Trump gets his way propaganda. So if credibility came from impeccable hair care, he'd be believable. But since it actually comes from results, he has none. So he's getting more frustrated that the lies just aren't landing.
Wake up. We're losing this country in real time. This is not bloviation. This is not exaggeration. It's happening.
Oh, no, it's definitely exaggeration. Like, trust me, my man, it's exaggeration. Because let's be real. Like, I would ask him explain. So how is our democracy being taken? Like, please tell me, like, what right have we lost? Like, let me know. Let me know what right we have lost. Because I'm a bit confused. Like, tell me the people who are getting round up that are American citizens, that are just being subjugated to authoritarian rule. Like, please tell me.
You don't get a do-over. 249 years. Those enduring values, best of Roman Republic, Greek democracy, co-equal branches of government, popular sovereignty. The rule of law is being replaced with the rule of done.
I mean, but then if you really look up what happened in Rome, they kind of went out like how you guys going out with this whole like hypersexuality thing going on. You got transgender ideology. Dudes want to be women, women want to be men. Then the fall of Rome happened. I mean, like I said, what's the complete culture of Rome that made it great dissolved, just like America, sadly. And that's when the Roman Empire started to fall.
Period. Full stop.
Period. No, just stop. If he really believed that Trump plans to remain in office and cancel the 2028 election, why did he actually hire already top political consultants for his 2028 run? It would be kind of silly to spend all that money, right? Of course, it makes no sense. Except it does, because he doesn't believe it himself.
Shout out to my man Hellbat. He's like, nah, he is tight. We are freeing the slaves and sending them home for a second time. I'm crying. Shout out Hellbat, because you know what? I agree. When it comes to the illegals, like I don't know what it is, but you know what? There's a lot of farms and there is a lot of farmland in California. So maybe it is in their best interest to keep the illegals coming in so they have people to pay that, $9, $11 an hour. Like, you feel me? And not all farmers treat their illegals bad. I mean, just like all slave masters didn't treat their slaves bad back in slavery, the parallels. But hey, should we just let it go because, there are some guys who treat their slaves right? Is that right, guys?
Oh,
I'm just saying.
Now, the second point, and this one's more serious, is that this lie, endlessly repeated, is dangerous. The Minneapolis killer fantasized about murdering Trump in his manifesto. And of course, there were just 2 assassination attempts before that. If deranged people take Gavin at his word, it's kind of predictable that someone could try to stop Trump's presidency by any means necessary, or try to, including by deadly force. But Newsom doesn't care. So the lies, they just don't stop.
He doesn't want more people voting. He wants to suppress and chill the vote.
I mean, what do y'all think y'all doing in these states where they have a good amount of Trump voters, but no Republican seats? Like, what do you think that is?
Wait a second. Trump's for voter suppression? There was a record turnout last election, a fact that Trump regularly celebrates. But of course, since liberals oppose voter ID and they believe that illegal aliens should be allowed to vote, to them, Trump's enforcing immigration law and requiring ID, well, I guess that is tantamount to voter suppression. Look, we know that Newsom's jockeying for the top spot in the party. He's even trying to win over the bro vote.
You've finally seen some
who in politics.
He could probably be party leader, but president, nah.
Photos of me that have been untouched, which is good. Some of the photos without my shirt. Those are some actual.
Keem Jeffries. What's his new nickname? APAC Shakur. APAC Shakur is crazy. I mean, bro, they did all that bucking against Israel just to sign the dotted lines to give Israel more defense funding. I was like, bruh, come on now. All that bucking y'all did, and y'all just turned tail like that, sign on the dotted lines. Oh, man, the disgrace.
Actual authentic photos out there.
Oh, no thanks. Now, none of this is working. And Trump, he's just laughing.
He will send the National Guard. He will send them all across this country, and he will do so through Election Day. He'll be sending them to voting booths and polling places all across this country. This is a real and serious moment in U.S. history.
I mean, it's like tumbleweeds were blowing through that place. No one seems to react. If that guy is your savior, my friends, it's over.
They probably thought Gavin Newsom was going to say something a little bit more, I don't know, thought-provoking. But then when you just go after the same, like, fear-mongering about Trump, it's just like, bro, I hear this on MSNBC. I hear this on CNN. I hear this on every mainstream media. Like, and then I come here, think you're going to say something different. You know what you tell me, Gavin? You tell me the same goddamn thing, bro. Like, what? I'm tired of it. Like, I'm pretty sure that's how Dems are feeling, at least the sensible ones. Like, I'm tired of it, bro. I hear it all over the news, and you tell me I got to come sit down and listen to you say it in live. Listen to you say it live, when I could just sit home on TV and watch CNN.
Oh, Gav also took a shot at Hannity and yours truly, asking, how can we oppose socialism, Mamdani style, but not question the Trump administration purchasing a 10% stake in Intel?
I love these guys. Hey, Sean Hannity, you watching? You're so disgusted, Laura, so sickened by Mamdani talking about, socializing a bodega or something, or a grocery store. And here you are at Intel. You just socialize and nationalize Intel.
Weak.
Really?
Intel, chip maker, national security.
I mean, bro, you're gonna unsocialize your tax system? Like, shoot, you want to try that out? Since you talking, okay? I know. Let's say everybody draw back on socialism. You criticize Mamdani, and you also lean back on your tax policy. We know you're right. We should lean off of Intel. We should lead off on getting stock in Intel. Okay, fair is fair.
Security. A little different from the government owning grocery stores and setting prices, just a little bit. Plus, when I interviewed Howard Lutnick, the Commerce Secretary, I did raise Rand Paul's criticism of the deal. But again, Gavin's not having the truth. When you really think about it, the governor of California, one of our great states, our largest state, should be a really serious person, and Newsom simply is not that. Do you think he's thought for 1 second about how vulnerable we are without our own chip-making source? Actually, how to do the important stuff? Of course not. But like the rest of his party, we just yell fascist and dictator when they have no ideas. Newsom has all the gravitas of a teenage social media influencer. But he is right about one thing. These are dangerous times. And we can only hope that after the tragic events in Minneapolis, Newsom will decide against continuing to lie about President Trump and the future of American democracy. And that's the angle.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here.
All right, and that is quite the angle. But all right, now let's get over to our man, Dr. Oz, the guy who's running our healthcare services, or, Medicaid and Medicare, the main things that you Dems like to complain about. Reasonably so, though. All right, though.